everything up and running. So when the peeps join us, right, I won't be in the middle of doing that. So let's see here. We're streaming.
I just did the little @ here in the general chat because there's a chat for the voice channel. That way people can see it's available in.
All right. All right, cool. Wait, so yeah, I think did I hit share screen yet or not on this one? I wasn't sure if I.
You have not yet.
All right, let me go into here and why is that not?
Well, before everyone gets here, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, from your understanding on how you use defensive tags, were you always taught that you have to use like if your playbook is using inside tag, that your tactic also has to have it to get the full bonus?
No, I just used it to tag like I explained in my videos and
To control which play call.
Yeah, so that's why I have in my playbook in the video there I have a short pass/run, right, for when they're not, and then I have a pass tag which I put in the medium, and then I have the inside run. I like to go short inside run, and it seems to work for me as far as tagging goes. Like on those downs where they predominantly run inside.
Right.
I haven't not been using the outside run tag because I have not been playing against a lot of people that have been running outside or throwing screens as much. I mean, back when screens were like being used so much, I had an outside run tag as well for those situations. Right. All right, now let me see your screen. I'm not going to turn my ugly mug on, but I need to share my screen. And
Alex, screw you, Alex.
All right. Are you guys seeing the GLB2 screen, the leagues screen?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, so who do we have here? We got me, Edgar, and Alex right now. Yeah, once the guys get on, I am going to ask for help. If somebody can monitor the Twitch, monitor the Twitch chat. So if people are there, we're able to see their comments and answer any questions. And Edgar had a good suggestion as our panel is talking about the games. Also give any viewers the opportunity to kind of make their prediction. So who's ever we don't need to tally it right at this moment. We can kind of give an informal tally, and then I can always watch the video, and I should be able to, from the video, see the chat.
We should do brackets.
Sorry, what was that, Alex?
That'd be fun to do brackets.
That would be fun. Someone else has got to set that one up, man. I threw this thing together like just kind of impromptu because Birdman had asked. He's like, well, he didn't ask. But
Alex, you're real quiet for some reason.
What about now?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. I'll see about if I can't set up brackets real quick. See how fast I can do
Isn't
it.
there that free website?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
How's it going, guys?
It's got
What's up, Scott?
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, been a while.
Shit.
So I think we got everybody here on our end, right? There's the four of us, right? Yeah, good. It's gonna be on this end. So, and it is a little bit past 2:00. Oh, let me just quickly check to make sure that I am. I should be streaming. I just want to check to make sure everything's.
Yeah, Twitch is going. I'll pull it up on another tab
Oh yeah,
for you.
someone else is looking. You're looking at that for us, in case anybody.
Yeah, I got it pulled up for you.
Okay, cool. Has anybody checked in? I know that there was Hutch that had. I don't know who Hutch, like which person he is in the game, but I did see that Hutch had popped on I don't know if he's still there or not, but right. So
Yeah, that's just hot hands.
Hodges what? Oh, he's in.
That's hot hands.
Oh, that's Hot Hands. Holy smokes! I know him like so many different names. Okay, cool, good. Hey, Hot Hands, good to see you, buddy. All right. So hopefully everybody
Right.
is seeing on both Twitch and on the on Discord, Academy Discord. Hopefully everybody is seeing my Goal Line Blitz 2 Leagues page before we start. Thought that'd be a good home page to start with. I'm gonna Alex, you want a little bit more time to try to set those brackets up?
Give me like 1 more second here just to see.
No, that's totally cool. And so it looks like Hot Hands is the only one in the, and obviously Edgar's watching that for me and us for us. So once we get the word from Alex that he's got the brackets set up for us, we can start talking some early playoffs predictions because there are some. I don't think they're 100% set in. Some of them are not 100% set. There's some things that could be happening, which will be kind of neat when we talk about each league. But yeah, we haven't done anything like this with us as a group together in a while. So I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna let anyone in the group that wants to, has anything they want to say. We could use this time to do that. Hopefully,
I am very, very interested in seeing what the lower ranks end up being, the rookie and sophomore leagues. So I have not paid any attention to any of them. So this will be really informative for me as well about what's actually going on for those ranks.
I see.
Yeah, we've got some good up and coming players, that are asking great questions of the vets and then and stuff. So I think it might be. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I think this group of new blood might be the strongest group of new blood that I've seen in a long time. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, especially recently, right?
Yeah.
You've had either the people coming into the game or getting more serious about the game. Things are just getting better, by quite a bit.
Hell, even GE is doing well.
Yeah, I call that one fluke. But yeah, the general base, like he said, is that the new guys, we've had quite a few actually in the last 2 or 3 seasons pop in, even if they're returning guys, and they're all getting up to speed pretty damn fast.
And then there's the Armada. Armada. I don't know what the word they want to use, but who is Armada? I personally would love to see it be Rob. He was such a big part of this game, and I know he came back and was not his normal self as far as the game went. But if this was like him sneaking in under the radar or trying to sneak in under the radar, I personally would love to have Rob back in the game. I think we got a nice kind of competitive setting going on now.
So we got some Ayn Rand stuff going on here. Who is Armada?
Yes, we're trying to figure that out. We don't know. People have some ideas that it might be when we could be wrong. People have some ideas that it might be Rob. People have some ideas that it might be Bort. It could be someone else.
No way it's Bort. I refuse to believe.
Yeah, I think it's more likely Rob than Bort. But those both would be some pretty cool stories. I hope they actually reveal themselves afterwards at the end of the season and just doesn't keep, because you know what? For me, I love this Who is Armada, but if they're just going to sit there and play the game, and one season's cool. it's been fun, the little mystery. But if they're just going to keep silent like that, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising to see for someone to do it and to be completely radio silent. That's kind of a odd thing to see for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so just as an update on the brackets, I can't do it. Every one of them caps out at 32, but we would need 48.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. It's not something we've done in the past, but let's get this party started.
Could you just do two different ones and then we put them together?
It's one of the things where, like, I absolutely can do it after the fact, but, like, getting it done, spur of the moment thing. You know what I mean?
That would be a neat thing to do, brackets, like, after this kind of preview type thing. People can fill them out.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the next hour or two, I can get it up, but just it's one of those things where right this second, I'm not going to have it done in time.
All right, let's kick this off. We're going to go rookie to vet. I'm going to go from the bottom up here. So, we're going to start with Zinc League.
A rookie to vet, that's fun.
So I took some notes. I'll do my little piece first, and then I will ask you all to kind of chip in. Looking at this division, right now I see Florida-Bama Flash at 12-1 as the alpha. And actually, either way, I think do they play each other in week 14? They might play each other in week 14.
One more game to play.
One more game they play against each other, but either way,
and then immediately play again.
Because it was 12. Although it could get interesting though, right? We know XFL at rejects are going to be in because they're the gamma.
So no matter who wins with Florida, Bama, Kansas, they're both playing each other again immediately after.
Because, what if? Well, actually, will it come down to? I didn't dig deep enough. One of them will be 13 and 1 will be 12-2. The rejects are playing the Seattle Tigers, right? Which is a computer team, so they're going to be. Yeah, they're going to be 12.
You see 9-4 record as a CPU team?
It is pretty crazy. That's the highest I think I've ever seen in a somehow in like a full CPU league, there will be one or two really good CPU teams in that CPU league. But yeah, I've never seen one that high in like an actual majority player owned.
There's eight owners, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen one with a winning record before like that.
So I wonder if in how the heads go. Because
Hammers will play Rejects and Florida Bama Flash will play Wildcats.
All right,
that's basically locked in.
So, all right, then what I have in my predictions.
Your Hammers could lose their last one.
I'm checking to see if they have the head-to-head over Anatolia Beasts already or not. They play them last, and they won in the first one, so then it comes down to just points allowed. Let's see, Hammers versus... they are neck and neck.
That too.
Yeah. If Detroit Hammers, even if they lose, as long as they lose by less than 20, they are in. So it's very likely that they will be the one. I would say.
It's interesting too. That Hammers team is inactive right now.
I saw that.
Yeah, but
if the Beast isn't, I might give it to them because they might be able to. Yeah, they are not.
I mean, by 20,
yeah, they could easily win by 20 since they're not inactive. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's going to matter too much because they're going to be up against the
Rejects.
The Rejects and Rejects Tecmo Ryan Leap. Is that Ryan Leap? Is that Bo?
Yeah, it's Bo.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know that it matters the Hammers or the Beasts who wins that game, but to mention them and give them their props, they've got a tough matchup versus the Rejects. And then I'm taking Kansas State over Florida-Bama Flash because Kansas State is Cavo. And I don't know. I've seen Mad King, and I played against Mad King, Craig. I believe that he's not somebody's alt, although he's playing really, really well.
He is playing exceedingly well to not be somebody's alt. But
he has a full. He's active in Discord too, so it'd be weird to be.
It would be weird to be an alt. And
Yeah,
be
no, I
that
agree. I don't think he's at all. I think he's playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, he's playing extremely well.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on the games?
I think Florida Bama will actually beat Kansas State.
Yeah,
I'm pretty convinced.
I would agree.
I have no idea. I'm just looking forward to watching the game.
That'll be impressive.
So Alex and I designed the Kansas State's defense, but Cavo's doing the offense, and it's a pure quarterback run team.
Yeah, pure outside running with quarterback. So the team can win, but it only basically wins, at least for now, if like the defense gets a great turnover that leads to points that way, or every now and again the power running wide receiver will actually break a run and you get some points that way. But it's very easy to stop this team offensively, at least for now.
Well, man, if Mad King Craig can pull that off, that would be a nice feather in his cap.
Yeah, it'll still be a tough game for him because snow. So I saw in the game against Armada he played, he actually ran outside really well. I was mentioning to Edgar the other day, I was like, that's the best outside running I've actually seen in the game in a while. Has been from Florida Bama, but then how does he handle snow as a rookie owner? Does he know how to manage a game plan in snow against a really tough defense? I think it's going to be like a 10-3 game regardless of how it goes. But
anyone else on Zinc League before we hop up to Tungsten League? Because we got a lot of if we're doing all of these, we got a lot. So I want to hear everybody's thoughts, but I don't want to be a 4-hour stream. So looks like we're moving on up to Tungsten League. Here I have the challenge of the Wizard King versus GE, right? Tebow Gators.
Yep.
Right? I have the Wizard King beating the Gators because not we all, but there's definitely fun in keeping GE down and riling him up. And I have AFK for the 5th ring, 4chans, AFK for the 5th ring versus the Gym Rats, which is a kind of a collaboration, a last-minute collaboration between DL Kurt and myself. His defense, and I told him I would help him out with offense. Hopefully try to teach him a thing or two about offense. So I have the Gym Rats beating the AFK for the 5th ring. I can't not take DL Kurt and myself, and I had the Wizard King beating up on the Gators. Take it away, guys. What you got for me?
Man, that beta division looks brutal. A 10-3 team not getting in.
That sucks. And they actually gave me my first loss of the season in the league play just yesterday, and they're not going to get in.
Which team was that again?
Your area Hot Singles with a team owned by White Ice.
White Ice. He's another up and comer. I don't think he's an alt. I know that when he was rookie, last year he seemed to be pretty active. See, I don't know how active he's been now, but
actually, he has a chance to get in over GE, right?
No. His only way in is to be over if Alex loses to GE in this next game, but then it would go down to points allowed because they're even on their spread. He's third in points allowed.
Yeah, the problem is Tebow's second points allowed. And I think Tebow also won the head-to-head.
Well, no, that's what I said. It would have to be the way he could get in still, actually. No, Mike, you guys are 1, 2, and 3 in points allowed, actually.
There's no way for him in. I checked.
Yeah, because it would be if Tebow lost, or Alex would have to lose by like 30.
And we're keeping an eye on the Twitch thing, right? Just in case I don't want anybody to pop in and not be heard. Well, they wouldn't be heard, but the text.
Hopkins just mentioned that the Florida Bama guy trained his outside running. He worked on it against his underdogs team.
You're actually seeing chat. I can't see chat for some reason.
Well, on the Twitch?
Yeah.
Are you logged in?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll reload the page or something. Maybe it's that.
So, Edgar, if you don't mind, like when someone does comment kind of thing, just kind of like hop in and say so and so commented whatever, and we can.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'm not watching that. What else was I going to say? Anyone else on Tungsten on either of these games?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just going to have to do it to mess with Alex. Alex lost in the playoffs to GE last season in rookie. So there's a chance he does it again, even though I really don't because he's using a Tebow running quarterback.
Yep.
That's really his doomed failure.
I'm also
if
using
he didn't
the
do
worst running plays of all time, though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because your stuff's so weird, especially what happens to it when you hit snow.
Yeah.
There's a chance GE actually sneaks it on him and wins.
Man, we will never hear.
Please don't. It would be insufferable.
We'll never hear the end of it.
He already did it last year in rookie, and we don't hear the end of it.
Yeah.
All right.
I maintain it was a fluke, though, so it'll be fine. Oh, I was just saying, it was a fluke. It's not going to happen again. I'll beat him.
Moving on to Iron League.
This one's fun.
In Iron League, we have the enigma that is the Armada versus Legend of Osiris. Now, wait, is when I was filling my notes out, is Original Joker the same as Higher Growth, or are they two different people?
Two different people.
They are. All right, cool. Because they both got teams in the playoffs. So, I mean, just based on record alone and like how Armada has played their games, I'm taking Armada in that game, and then in the second game,
is he going to play Higher or Joker?
Yeah,
I think that'd be a big deal.
I think they both play gimmies, so it'll be Higher Growth Joker that plays Armada.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
And then
they've already played each other yesterday.
Then the second game, I have Monsoons. I'm not even going to pronounce that. Dynasty. I know it's his Necrons. He's a 40K player, Warhammer 40K player. I salute you, Monsoon. I play a little 40K myself, but mostly kill team these days. And then High Growth is playing against the Dynasty. So for me, I'm picking High Growth just because while Monsoon is another one of those hot upcomers, right, that we were talking about earlier, Higher Growth has been around a little bit longer. I think he was like in the previous generation of like players that were like asking the veteran players, and I think he's come a long way. I think that's going to be a great game. What are your guys' thoughts on those two Iron Man games?
Do we know what the weather is going to be like for the playoffs? Is it still too far out?
It's still a little too far out, I think.
Is it? Yeah, it's too far out.
So I think if it's bad weather, I think you got to really give Dynasty the leg up. They're a team that's built for running like 2 wide receiver diamond, 2 prodigy fullbacks, a superstar halfback, and a like star defense.
I 100% agree with you. I think actually overall, Monsoon at this point in time is actually a little better coach than High Growth. He's one of those guys that really grabbed the game last couple seasons and grasped it well.
I think it comes down to weather. I think they're super evenly matched.
Yep.
If it's windy and snowy and cold, I think Dynasty gets the win. But if it's just cold and it's sunny and not windy, I think Higher Growth gets the win.
I think Higher Growth wins this one, actually. Just based off of looking at their defenses, I think that Higher Growth has the better run defense. And I'm looking at both of these halfbacks, and both of these halfbacks are ideal halfbacks of the snow, right? They're both heavy power backs. And so, both of them are just going to run at each other all game long. So to me, it comes down to just which one can defend the run better. And I'm looking at the way that Higher Growth has his defense set up, and I think that he does that. So I think it's like almost like a 3-7 game, but I think Higher Growth does it better.
I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to how did Dynasty adjust after losing like 2 weeks ago? Lost 33-0. If he adjusted to be stronger against Higher Growth, or he just kept on his own path.
Should be a good game.
Yeah, I think the only way Dynasty wins if the weather is just absolutely miserable.
Well, I'm just looked at the rosters. Yeah, Higher Growth has an advantage that he has a star tight end and receiver. And if he's done any decent catching traffic on them, as long as they're not just pure speed based, they can still do well in the snow. And it doesn't look like they're speed based yet.
So before we move on to the Cobalt League, Scott, while I've got you here, man, I don't know if I think I might have told you this, but yeah, after playing against your Green Bay team, I scouted like you heavy duty and stole some of your plays and percentages and everything, and then build wise too. I'm really I'm trying some of the builds with on my Frost team, which sadly did not make the playoffs. Although we were in an elite league, and the Serpent was running it for me, and I think that he did a really nice job. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so going with the whole Road Warrior hometown hero, kind of thing for like playoffs, like for weather.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
So I stole those ideas, so I got to give you some credit, man.
Yeah, some of those are really good.
So we got Cobalt.
Well, did we talk about the Armada versus Joker game, or are we just assuming that?
I thought we did. I can go back.
I think Armada is just gonna.
I mean, I think we all are just gonna. Yeah, that's how that one's gonna go.
All right, so here we are in Cobalt, right? I have Daharan, Heroes Daharan versus Hot Hands Underdogs. And I mean, I like both guys, but I'm pulling for the underdogs, even though I think they are major underdogs against a coach like Hero. And then in the second game, I have Monsoon's Orcs versus Myrick's Kentucky. Myrick always finds a way to win. But I'm gonna go with the young upcomer Monsoon on this one. I'm gonna go with the Orcs on this one and have Myrick prove me wrong. You guys, what are your picks?
I'm going Orcs on this one. I think Monsoon's just so active. And then I've actually watched the Orcs a bunch this season. I feel like they're the most put together team as far as I know there's Armada out there, but when I watch a team that has weaknesses, the Orcs have a much more complete scary type offense. And I think that's going to make them stronger later on. And I think that's the same reason that they beat Bob. Because I think zone in the snow rookie against offense, it doesn't have to just run the ball at you, but could. I don't know.
I like the Orcs build overall. The Prodigies, I like their placements better.
I think Monsoon's just more active in the game right now.
I that's a huge part of it for sure. He's active. He talks about his game planning and slowly developing it. He's definitely showing a lot with his builds and stuff. I think specifically what Alex said, because he's just so much more active, I think he'll end up getting Bob in it.
Yeah, because he's got 2 or 3 teams. Monsoon has 2 or 3 teams in the playoffs. I don't think he's earned an owner championship yet. I think he had when I did my research, he had an LOL special teams championship. I think this is definitely the season that he picks up. He could pick up 1 or 2. I don't see him getting all 3. That would be mighty impressive if he did pull it off. But I think that with his builds and his play calling and playbook, and tactics, I think that we could see him pick up a couple owner championships.
Yeah, I expect that. I expect 1 or 2. For sure.
Any other comments on rookie before we move to sophomore?
We want to talk about De'Aaron versus underdogs? I think that De'Aaron could lose that game.
So,
yeah, we didn't talk about that game.
Yeah, I mean, the underdogs are 10-3, and Hot Hands is, like Monsoon, maybe a little bit behind Monsoon, but he's been grilling the vets, and learning the game.
A very standard roster.
Hey, Lo, what's that?
I like his defense, the star corners and free safeties. Got a good roster. He definitely has a chance.
Yeah, I would like to see him win, but I think that the difference in that game is Hayro's experience. I mean, he's been playing the game for a lot longer. But I do agree. There's a possibility.
I mean, the last game was a 7-point difference. Like, it's definitely a game that could go either way.
And Underdog's team's not bad. Like, I just helped him beat Armada from Armada's first loss using that team. And he designed that team talking with me, a Germ, and Ghanima. That's the one he put together, I think that's the one he threw together, Ghanima, most of the defensive stuff really quickly. The guy's very open to learning, and honestly probably the most I've seen to wanting to learn from the vets immediately.
The halfbacks look pretty similar on both teams, too. They're both elusive backs.
Yeah, he's been very good about when he first came to the game. I started talking to him. I got him with me and Alex, and us talking about stuff one day. And he's in a group chat with me and Jerem Ghanima, and I know he talks to me, and he talks to all of them independently still. He's open to learn. And that's such a big thing, even for this game, and I've talked to it before, even for me. It was the whole time playing, always talking with others and seeing what they're doing. And, even if I just think that's weird, see it works, okay, let me try it out, let me see it. And he's open to it, even the other day of us doing game planning, like wanting to know how to do it. So he's not just clicking and guessing and hoping he's right. He's kind of actually taking time to learn it. So there's a good chance the roster's built decent. I mean, it's good it can beat teams. Get into is, hey, we're doing something kind of weird with this team that the snow might hurt it. So that game really kind of throws into a 50-50. I mean,
teams are very, very similar in terms of like star locations and the individual pieces they have for receiving.
I was bummed that I couldn't get into the to the playoffs with his apocalyptic riders team, but because I thought that was a good team. I think So, anyone else on rookie before we move to sophomore? And I'm gonna save the elite. We're going to talk about the non-elite league, the dark league first, and then we'll talk about the first low-level elite league, the ice league. But there's no more comments on rookie. We will move to sophomore. Moving to sophomore. The dark league. I have DL Kurtz Northwest Storm versus Dizzy Dr. Dro's Peoria team, the Peoria Panthers. And that is, I think, just all DL Kurt. I'm not helping him with that. So 12-1 record for the Storm, 8-5 record for Peoria. A lot of experience, right, from DL Kurt. So I take the Northwest Storm there. And then we have Int Ain't Dead, right? 11-2, right? That's the original Joker and crew, because he's got a good crew of coaches, a good staff there, versus Air Azteca, Birdman's Air Azteca.
I think Air Azteca runs away with this.
Yeah, that's me too.
I was gonna say that, but I know that I knew that Edgar, you're on that staff, right? Or not?
The interception ain't dead.
Yeah.
Either.
And I've got a player on there.
Yeah.
I was looking at the record. I'm like, oh, they are 11-2, but it just didn't.
I actually, honestly, I didn't even know this until literally yesterday. Because I can kind of feel bad is because we were testing the demo idea mainly of, can you go to 90 interception with like 80 vertical on defense and will it get more? It's not at all.
Tucker.
And the offense is just goofy pure pass, basically.
Guys, you keep
The
talking.
team's funny.
Shut the dog up. Keep talking.
Okay.
Somehow it's gotten to 11-2. The league's weak, but we've changed. I think I've changed the playbooks on it one time all year, and that was not twice. But I did defense once just so I could beat G, and I just clicked a random one. So I mean, maybe actually go in game plan, and maybe, but yeah, I doubt it.
I mean, Northwest Storm in Gamma and Int Ain't Dead in Beta are the two winners, and they're both trying weird shit.
Yep.
Yep, right. It just doesn't make much sense. Don't even want.
What was I going to say? Oh, I think on Int Ain't Dead, right? Even though you're doing different stuff, I think for what you want to do, and this is what I've learned from LX, builds are so important, so anybody that's listening or watches this after the fact, right? These young coaches that are doing well because they're asking veteran players, and veteran players are sharing our knowledge with them, and that's why they are so successful so fast. Builds are important. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, we talked about that one. Are we good to go to the elite?
Yeah, I think we all agreed that Air Azteca Bees ain't dead. I think even the owner ain't dead. So,
Yeah.
Yep, I think we're good.
Let me do this. Okay, here we go. Our first, so sophomore of 3 elite leagues. Here, I have the Blood Ravens, Monsoon's Blood Ravens versus Alex's A Bad Case of Cowardice. I think it's going to be a great game, but I've got to go with the experience, right? One of the veteran coaches that has done so much for teaching the up and coming coaches, and take A Bad Case of Cowardice over the Blood Ravens. But I do think that is going to be a good game. And then we've got Galactic Empire versus the Springfield Atoms, right? So another GE team. Again, and keeping a GE down, and also Tecmo Ryan, Leaf, right? Bo, Right, that's we said. No, yeah, that's Bo. We said right.
Yes, Bo. Yeah.
Yeah, Bo
Yeah, that's Bo.
knows GLB2, and again, I think it's going to be a good game. But I'm taking Springfield to beat Galactic Empire, and I'm going to let you guys talk. I got to deal with dog piss.
2 quarterbacks for Springfield Adams.
Yeah. I actually think that GE can win this game. I don't think
I'm actually gonna
hard to
say
beat.
I hate to do it. I think GE wins.
I think GE wins. I think in the snow, having that superstar D line, and the kind of run defense that GE is known for, I think he wins.
And it's easily the best D line he's had ever. I've got GE winning this one because Bo's kind of, he's doing better, but in big games, especially against zone, he kind of starts leaning on cheese. That's usually kind of the one thing G actually deals with really well.
All right. Well, what about the other game?
Then for now, I've got Monsoon beating Cowardice.
This is
I've got Blood Ravens. You'd be upset.
I will be upset.
Yeah.
You'll be upset.
Yeah. Oh, that. But Cowardice's D line is phenomenal. Even for sophomore, it's ridiculous. But Monsoon's doing really well, and I think he's gonna poke around. And I think he's gonna find a way to beat him.
Man, I know he's doing really well, but the question is he doing well enough to knock off like a top tier coach? You know, I mean, if he is, then that's definitely would move him up on that list.
There's a part there where I want to say, I mean, he's 11-2, and just simply, I don't know, did he win the first game? Did he actually beat Cowardice?
No. The whole thing is I beat the hell out of him in our first game.
Yeah, but I think Monsoon's going to use that as to look at things on how to do it. I'm going to give him some credit because he was the first to take Gonimer down before Gonimer reset too.
Yeah, but I didn't get to play Gonimer before he reset. I might have taken him down as well.
It's true. It's a possibility.
I think the real damning fact here is he ran for less than a yard a carry against Bad Case of Cowardice the first game. And if you're going to do that in the snow, it's going to be miserable. You're not going to be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I can lose this game. And that's not because of anything to do with Monsoon explicitly, but I don't think you can beat
that D line.
Yeah, I don't think you can beat these builds. That's what it comes down to.
Sometimes you just got to poke the bear to make him actually do something, though.
Yeah, but I also think that LX will. I think could be spread a little thin, but we all know that
if you're going purely on reasoning, he should.
So he's going to plan, and he's going to put some wrinkles in there. He's not just going to go with the default plans. I certainly hope he doesn't, Alex. But
sometimes that's the best plan.
And there's the possibility why he could lose.
No, listen. Okay, there's a legitimate strategic reason why you should do this sometimes. Hear me out. If you always change your game plans in playoffs, everyone knows, okay, well, it's playoffs and it's Alex, so he's just going to game plan me now. So I know I can just take everything he did throughout the season and throw it away. He's not going to do any of that because that would be too easy. Well, no, that's the whole reason why sometimes you do just go with your defaults. Because if they're tailoring everything around a guessing game of the things that you're not going to call, well, then call exactly that.
I don't think it's really ever for me.
Go ahead.
For me, I think that's also one me of just remembering tendencies of people, and specifically even just knowing in the history, even when Alex does game plan, and he sometimes does do it in the middle of the season, he's not the type that really changes his plays themselves. It's the which plays are called more and in which situations.
Right, and he also builds his team to do. We've had this conversation, Alex and I.
Yes,
and it's a big difference between him and me. right? He builds his team, to do a certain thing and do it extremely well. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Good luck finding a way to beat me.
Mhm.
Whereas, me, right, in the past, because I didn't use Alex in the pocket. I did my builds, which weren't horrible builds, but they obviously could be improved upon um, as Alex did help me with Sopo Red Riots. And my favorite part of the game is game planning. The whole scouting and coming up with little tricks. The whole Bill Belichick in me, like, okay, gonna take their biggest weapon away and make them beat me another way. So, but any other comments on either game? Blood Ravens versus a bad case of cowardice, or GE versus Springfield Adams? If not, we will move to the pros.
Slide to pro.
Pro. And we will start with Cider League. Right, so in Cider League, we have Feeps Lab versus, I don't know if it's Ty or Davis or Sperry the Kid who's doing the test site. I haven't heard much from Ty. I haven't heard much from either of them lately. But the test site has a 10-3 record. The Lab 12-1. So it looks like this was not an experimental team for Feep. Like, he's playing to win, and he is one of the sharpest brains in the game as well. So I'm taking the Lab over test site. And then we've got, in the other game, the Phenoms, Lincoln Prep, Blue Tigers versus Lumber Platoon. I mean, I've seen Lumber Platoon around for a while, although unless he's an alt, I haven't heard the guy really talk all that much. He's been doing it.
He's posted on Discord before. He at the one point or another he was active.
And for Feep, the Lab is definitely experimental.
Yeah,
because he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 superstars for KRPR teams.
That is correct.
He's a kick return team, yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I know all about this team, actually. It's actually quite comical that it does fairly decent. It is a team entirely based on making stars to be perfect block returners on kick and punt return, and he's got like 30 kick and punt returns already this year with it.
I mean, is it any shock that he absolutely crushed me? Like, I kick off to him with my kicker with 25 power, and he runs it back for a touchdown. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite comical because it was even one as when he was making it and he was talking with D.L. Kurt and I about it. He's gonna put insane amount over there. And I'm like, well, if you're gonna spend money for punt returns, you have to actually get some punts. You can't just allow touchdowns. He's like, oh crap, okay. So then he went out and said, okay, I'll just make a fairly good defense. That way I can get some punt returns. And then I'm like, so that way you have both. And then you turn around and like, you've got all those star alignment or hybrid builds. You can run and pass both. You might as well have, basically you can still have a half decent offense. And he was just like, oh, I can. So it kind of like played up where it's such a funny team for him to sit there and talk about, and then to realize, oh, even with feeble people, he's got to actually make it decent enough to be getting it to work.
And actually, he squares up really well against pass teams because of how aggressive his blitz is and how fast his players are.
Let's talk about Ty Davis and Sperry the Kid for a little bit. I'm kind of and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I kind of feel like they are like the modern day version of GE. Remember when GE was younger and he just never listened to well, it's not even more recently. At least he's gotten better about listening, you know?
Right.
Like Ty and Sperry, and what I think is like they have these ideas of what they want to do and how it should be, you know, and then the community, right, especially like the veterans are being like, that won't work. Try this, try that, and they stick with their stuff stubbornly, like GE, you know. Just I guess my thing that I'd say to them if they're listening, guys, look at GE. Look at how long it took him to become competitive, right? If you keep going down that road where you just try to do your thing and you don't take advice, right? You're not just gonna not like this game. Follow the advice of the guys that are successful.
It goes to show too, right? GE's been playing for this long by himself to get to where he is now, and you have a coach like Monsoon come in, and 1 or 2 seasons in, they've already leapfrogged him because, you know, the rate of learning if you actually talk with other people.
Yep, 100%. So what do you got for games? I think does anybody have the lab losing to test site?
No.
No. All right, so then let's talk a little bit more about that Lincoln Prep and Bills Mafia game. I mean, Phenom's not a bad coach at all.
No, and he's always got a great run game too.
I went with the Bills Mafia. I'm interested to see if everybody went one way or the other. But I think it's kind of an even match. Thoughts?
I think Lincoln Prep. I think the coach is better for being able to do stuff with it, whereas Lumber Platoon has gotten drastically better, but he's not Phenom.
Yeah, Phenom, I think, is probably still a better coach. And I think I've just seen that his type of offense works better in snow. So, assuming that's what we're going to get, I give it to Lincoln Prep.
Anyone else, or do we go to the Elite Wind League? Sounds like we go to the Elite Wind League. Wind. All right, here we have. I think this is a great game here, matchup here. D Carbo's Jarvis Street Coffee Squirrels there, right? Versus Edgar's Bad Ideas. I'm assuming that Edgar is going to say that bad ideas, and that the D-Carbo team is going to beat his team. Again,
well, he gets to play him.
Go ahead.
He gets to play him twice in a row, so he has to actually figure it out.
Yep.
And Birdman said he's got money on Carbo.
I don't think so.
I remember. I mean, Carbo's still very, very competitive, and I do remember he had a streak of like racking up some trophies. But again, this is why I've invited you to be on my streams. I have a ton of respect for Edgar and the knowledge that he brings to the team. I do think it'll be a good game, but I think that Bad Ideas will win.
I want Bad Ideas to win so much. Jarvis Street Coffee Squirrels is my kryptonite, and I do not want to play against them.
I assume Bad Ideas is going to win just off the halfback.
Wait, was that just Scott saying that that he doesn't want to play against the Squirrels?
Yes.
So Scott, we've got a game coming up this week, right? I think head-to-head, you got the head-to-head on me by 3 points right now, right?
Yeah, it's really, really close.
Yeah, so I think you're assuming that you're going to be in there, buddy, because we're gonna. I mean, the Red Riots are gonna bring a game to you, my friend. Is that at your house or my house? The game.
This one is.
So it's home for Agram.
All right. Cool. Good. It's going to be a good. I'm so looking forward to that.
So you want to know something really interesting and messed up about that game?
Yeah.
Our offenses are 4 and 5. My pass yards offense is 6 and yours is 2. So you're actually the better passing offense right now.
And that's my this season. I've been calling. Actually, I've been calling like all the games, but I switched between some of Alex's offense, some of the offense that I had won, and I'm not gonna lie, man. I've actually used I've copied your offense, and I've been using that as well. Actually, so I think by mixing those things up, that's definitely helped the Red Riots. So.
I redid my quarterback and halfback at the start of the season, so I'm just getting to 100 chemistry right now.
That's going to be my favorite game to watch this coming week. To see which one of us gets the honor of playing the Drunken Lads. And they've had a really, really good season. So I'm not picking who's going to win that game, who's going to be in, because we don't know yet. I mean, it could be Drunken Lads versus Green Bay, or it could be Drunken Lads versus the Red Riots. I think all three teams are really, really good. So I'm going to not pick that game. So go ahead, guys. Make your picks.
I don't think definitely the best league so far in terms of games, because there's games to get into playoffs for stuff changing, and then there's Bad Ideas and Jarvis, and that drastically changes the matchups in other spots. And then House of Drunken Lads is a balanced team that passes and runs really well.
So it's a really good league for sure. But there's one, unfortunately, I don't think it matters on who ends up coming out of the gamer division on that league. I think House of Drunken Lads just beats either team either way. He's done a really good job with that team, and like Scott said, he runs and passes so evenly well, and then he's running a defense that's been solid outside of one or two games. And then you get Jarvis versus Bad Ideas. The funny one is we are split perfectly in our records. Each season, usually one of us wins one loses one. But usually Carbo's team just seems to do worse for some reason in the snow and weather. And Bad Ideas, I'm in a 100 strip. I'm kind of made to take advantage there.
Yep. This is actually, I was looking at the divisions too. This just shows how tight this division is, right? There's a dog outside. White Ice's Whoppers, right? They're 7-6, right? In this league. I apologize for the dog, guys. I'm gonna go try to shut him up again, but if there's no more talk on this one, I'll bring up I'm going to bring up the Pumpkin League, the Vet Pumpkin League, and you guys can start talking about that while I deal with the dog. Let's see, Pumpkin League. You guys can start talking about Pumpkin League. Tucker, shut up. Hey, come here.
Use pushback. This one, it's a weak division for Vet.
They're basically two of the same team for pushback and staying inside. Very, very similar.
Yeah, I switched. They run one of my base offenses, so their offenses are similar. Staying inside's got a pure hybrid defense, and pushback's pure zone. Birdman ass. It's one of those small white dogs with crusty eyes, isn't it? Oh, take a second because I think I saw a little white dog walk by earlier. Oh, that's awesome. One of his other videos. But this is one that I don't know.
Well, Pushback's playing Logzilla, right?
Yes, yeah. Pushback will be playing Logzilla. So it'll be Ghoulies versus Staying
Ghoulies
Inside.
versus Staying Inside.
Yeah, which in reality, Staying Inside's been Alex and I doing stuff for the whole season.
Yeah, I'm gonna try him in that game. That'll be funny.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I don't think Logzilla ends up winning against either of these teams.
Yeah, I think Logzilla's just kind of a foregone conclusion that they'll lose a Pushback, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they will. We've already played once, and I won big. And at Zars, I don't see Zars showing up and being active.
Yeah. It really comes down to Ghoulies versus Staying Inside, which I think you have to just favor Bo, but I think Staying Inside actually has maybe a chance in that game.
Staying Inside's actually, I think when I looked at the rankings, one of the top 5 offenses now, or it's like 7th when you do all power record.
Mm-hmm.
So they went from struggling, and then we finally put a book in for them, and they're actually, it's a team very capable of it if it actually gets game plans to actually beat Bo.
Yeah.
With Ghoulies, Bo's he's very predictable in what he does. He'll watch this and thinks he changed it. He still won't.
I'm thinking again weather-wise too. Staying inside, right? That might be to their benefit.
Pushback and Staying Inside are both teams that do well in weather.
Yeah, I would say it's true.
Well, weirdly, actually, Pushback does not do well in weather. But Pushback's defense actually likes rain, but in the history, at least, of Pushback's career, zone just messes with us, but I built the whole the whole team is just fast. It's still got really good skills in areas, but because it's so speed heavy, it gets hurt.
Yeah, Zars being all run means that you can do a lot to combat it.
That one can pass too on Logzilla, but yeah, it's healing's heavy run.
All right, ready to move on to Mercury? Moving our way on up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice for all these teams, superstar halfback, superstar wide receiver, superstar tight end on basically every single team at a minimum. But you're going to see that repeatedly in all of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's balanced offense is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like that. We still can have speedy, elusive. Some people can have a speedy superstar, speedy, elusive halfback. Some people can have a superstar power halfback. I like to have kind of like options, right? There's some people that are using their running quarterbacks. I just like a Tom Brady pocket passer. That's my style of quarterbacks. I love me some tight ends. Like my tight ends always on my teams always get more love than my wide receivers, but there's the whole speedy wide receiver, and then there's the whole oh gosh, what's the one where they're the quick ones that they use, that route
route runner or a slot receiver.
The slot receivers, yep, and then but what was the is it an S? Yeah, it's an SA, right? That's not the
head fake.
Super fast one, but the other
Slot
one.
machine?
What was that?
Hard cut.
Hard cut?
Hard cut. There we go. I'm seeing some good hard cut. I think that I'm also seeing a little bit more diversity in passes. I still don't think that all passes are created equal, but I think that the community has done a good job getting in Bort's ear, and Bort's done a good job adding some plays. It used to just be like, maybe 5 or 10 like consistent good passing plays.
I think there's maybe 15% of all passing plays that I would consider playable.
Yeah, so it's still, they need some work, yeah. So Mercury, here we have the Sooners versus To the Sky. I'm taking To the Sky, and we've got RRR versus either the Unknown or the Dolphins. Like earlier, I don't know that it matters who comes out of that. I think that it's going to be RRR that's going to beat either the Unknown or the Dolphins. Your guys' thoughts?
Yes, I agree with both of those, I think. Over Unknown or Dolphins.
I think RRR is not going to matter.
You think they
Well, I know that they're basically autopilot. They haven't done anything. So even if they do win, it's probably a...
You think they lose to GE if GE goes to the game?
I think so.
Ugh. I don't think so.
I process what I heard.
Because RRR is a very run-heavy.
I think either way, this guy beats GE before that happens, right? I think Hero beats GE.
Probably. That's probably true.
He should. There's absolutely no reason he shouldn't.
Over that way.
Sky did win or lose their first game, but that's when Hero was saying he didn't game plan until the end.
He didn't game plan. I guess we'll know more.
I'll mop it after this.
Tomorrow.
I'm streaming right now. I'll mop it afterwards. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I think to this guy ends up beating GE. I mean, he's just an offense built to beat GE. Like, he throws the ball, so he beats GE. It's really that simple.
I throw a ball, I beat GE.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, and if you get into it, his OU Sooners team, it's a 3-4 defense
that
he tries to blitz from. So unless he goes no blitz, which means he's not going to have any pressure, he's just not going to stop. To this guy that runs a 4-wide offense. So he's just got him spread out fast. That's G, like Scott said.
Yeah, it's got to be Hero wins that one.
All right.
And I would love to see GE build an offense that is specifically built for beating the pass.
He's actually kind of gone that way with his Galactic Empire team. His team is way better against the pass now. He finally decided to invest in actual
pass the sophomore team.
Yeah.
Right, but he's like, I did pass investment, and it's... Well, I took my run-stopping skills to this stupid amount that's an end build for most people.
Yeah. But he's been doing better lately.
Are we ready to move up to Ghost League?
Ghost League.
2 to go. Ghost League and then Jupiter League, the Vet Elite League. But we got to go Ghost first. Let's see here. All right, so here, screens are a crutch versus Run Tag Me. I did not pick that game. I'm going to have to listen to you guys on that one. And the second game is Rashad Penny and Company versus the Phenoms. Casey Crowns. So I was going to pick the Crowns to win that one. So go ahead, guys. Take it away on the Ghost League.
Higher Growth asked what all leagues have been done. So everyone but the last top 2 vet team leagues.
And also this will be, I will put this on the YouTube, so people that weren't able to see the other ones can go through and watch it. So what are your feelings for the Ghost League matchups?
I feel like Stranger Crutches beats Run Tag Me bitches outright. I don't know if anyone else disagrees with that, but seems
again, it's Czars.
Yeah, it's Czars.
If Czars was active, it would be entirely different, but with him being as inactive as he is, you never know.
But I do think actually that Birdman
Crutch is built by Scott and I.
Yeah.
Not Scott, D.L. Kurt and I.
I do think Birdman will beat Casey Crowns though.
And Birdman just said he may game plan Rashad.
Yeah, that's what I expect. I think he would game plan that game. And I think...
Which I'm I'm also supposed to be helping him do an offense. I just haven't yet on Rashad too.
Oh, you suck, don't you?
I'll accept my flaws.
Yeah. I think Rashad Penny can win that game against Casey Krause.
There's zero reason to lose to Casey.
I really feel like the heavy prodigy with the superstar halfback is really good on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all they did basically for Rashad Penny is all of the superstars that they would have on defense, they turned into prodigies, and then they added prodigies onto the offense.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can definitely score on rounds. You definitely can.
Yeah.
That's the one. Is Birdman made it really interesting on this team that it can pass more than it does, and Rashad Penny does just mess with people a lot.
Yeah, I think Rashad Penny ends up winning by like 30 plus points, to be perfectly honest, just based on what I'm seeing from Crowns and Birdman's team and the stuff that we're looking at.
I actually think this will be the first ring in a while that Birdman, if he wanted to, he could go out and get it. He can beat Crowns and he can beat Screens or a Crutch.
Mm-hmm.
Go Birdman.
That's definitely possible.
Go Birdman.
Screen or Crutch, Kurt and I will try in playoffs more, do game plans. But the team just has the glaring weakness with the offense that
if Screens are a Crutch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I've heard you guys say that about your teams, all these weaknesses that you guys obviously see. I guess what matters is if the other coaches see it, you know. So I'm glad that you guys are modest, but you're still a tough nut to crack.
I mean, the thing is, too, you're also always mitigating your own weaknesses. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm weak to this, but, you know, I'm not calling into my weaknesses usually, right? I'm trying to call things that don't show you them.
And that's one of the good things about being a really good team builder is doing that. Even whether it doesn't matter how you're deciding to build your team, always thinking about, okay, I'm going to be good at this, but what is its biggest weakness? So like Alex said, you're not making play calls that expose that more. You kind of call to protect it.
All right, here we go. The top of the hill. The baddest of the bad, and when I say bad, I mean good, right? Our elite veteran teams. So here we've got the San Salvador Scorpions versus Ryan Leaf's Revenge. I'm going to take the Scorpions because every single time I play against them, it's just like a bad match. They're my kryptonite. And then the second game, Frost Giants versus Grape Apes. Both Alex involved teams, but I think the Frost Giants are the stronger team. So
the Wizard Ball.
Is Grape Apes guaranteed yet?
They are guaranteed in. Okay, they're technically not. If we lost to Caboth by like more than 70 points or something like that, then we would be out. But I think I don't think that would happen. So we're in.
Yeah, and Birdman, going back to the last one, he did beat Screens or a Crutch by 4 last time he played.
Yeah, I think Birdman can win that whole league there, the Ghost League.
There's no reason he can't.
But onto this one, yeah, I think Dolomite beats Ryan Leaf, you have to imagine, right? He's just the best coach in the game right now. He has been the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, I would not want to play against San Salvador right now.
There's a weird part, so when I don't know how Bo's built that Ryan Leaf team, San Sal doesn't do well in weather.
But historically, neither does Bo, right?
And that's absolutely true. Historically, Bo does not do well in snow, so that's one is weird for sure. San Sal should win. The weather could make it weird, but like you said, it's Bo. It's snow.
Yeah, I think if it was rain, I actually give it to Bo. But snow, I think, yeah, they both technically are bad in weather. But then Dolomite's the best coach in the game right now. You basically can't beat him.
Defense is naturally better against the rain.
Yeah, and so I don't think Bo can win this one.
And I think San Sal's going to trick him here, to be honest. I can see because Bo just beat San Sal with his other team. But we also know Dolomite's on vacation. He told us that last week.
Yep.
So there's one, I'm like, so he might even beat him tomorrow. It still won't change the games, but it's one, I think Bo could get tricked into thinking he's figured him out.
Yeah.
But he's not at all.
Yeah, we know the Dolomite relies heavily on game planning, so he finds success against his default, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. As far as Frost Giants versus Grape Apes, I know who's going to win. It's me. And so I presume Frost Giants are going to win. I'm not going to game plan for either one of them because I can't game plan against myself. So it's just going to be defaults against defaults. And I think in the snow, Frost Giants are just built to win that matchup. So I presume that they will.
It played a couple months ago, and it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. But Grape Apes had the best running back in the game. I will at least make a proper adjustment to the depth chart there to make sure he gets all the snaps. And maybe he could just win the game on his own.
Sounds good. So thank you guys for joining me again on this impromptu early playoff predictions. I think one thing, actually, when we were doing this, I kind of came up with the idea. I think what I'd like to do before, after this plays out during the off season, right, and when we can look and see at who's going to be in the elite divisions, I'd like to do another stream of a kind of like a preview of next season's elite leagues. See who went up, see who went down, talk about, if that's going to, make any waves. So if you guys want to join me, that'll be in the off season once we know. So is there anything that any of you would like to add before we sign off?
I'm going to win Bet Elite. It'll be easy.
I think it's going to be really interesting looking at what Vet Elite looks like in 2 to 3 seasons. Because we're going to see all these really good teams staying up, and it's going to filter in to actually be a full, complete.
Well, we're drawing close to the end of the original teams now, too. A lot of the OG Southside, Salvador, Grapes.
Still have 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I know, Rebels will have 2. I imagine Dolomite will keep San Sal for 2 more. Bo's turned his to a franchise, so Bo's will be there for 5.
The other thing with franchise you need to remember is a team doesn't necessarily have to drop down. They can spend a season, completely retool everything, and still remain in vet.
Yeah.
And it only takes 10 games to get to 100 chem, by the way.
Yeah.
From 0. So from 50 chem, it's even better.
I'm not sure how I feel yet about re-rolling at vet. Edgar and I talked about this. I don't think it's actually a good idea, but
it's something I brought up when we got the franchise that I thought that was an issue. But Scott's right, you don't. So you can kind of stay there forever. But he's absolutely right. Elite League, even next season for vet, will change so much because most of all the top 2 teams out of those leagues will still be there, and I think 2 of the 3s. But then you're going to add in, I think it's Ghoulies, To the Sky, Pushback. All 3 of those immediately step in, who are all high win, high ladder guys, teams too.
The crazy part about Elite Vet, right, is that we said the same thing last season, right? we're like, oh, but look at next season, it's going to be even stronger because then you're going to have Frost Giants and you're going to have Gallo team before he ended up resetting it, some kind of disaster, and you're like, okay, well, Kyoto Kaimara is going to come in there. Then we're so excited, like, look, this Vet Elite's even better than last season's Vet Elite, and now we're saying the same thing again, like, this next season's team's coming in, it's going to completely transform Vet Elite. But I think what's actually interesting is if you look at the win-loss records, right, they actually kind of say the same from the first season of Vet Elite.
At the end.
You know, like, you keep thinking that, like, okay, well, these new 2 or 3 teams that come in is going to totally shake it up, but actually just, like, the bar just gets raised higher, but the same teams win out, the same teams lose out, you know what I mean? Like, it's still, like, this weird dichotomy that exists no matter what.
I think what you're going to see is the teams coming in, it's not going to be as big of a difference. It's going to be the teams that are in vet already that missed the bubble being filtered in. So we have all these vet teams.
The current ones, yes.
So-
Pros coming up.
Right.
Last season, it was we added 2 pro teams. And that was one we even talked about is this one we knew before the season started. Really, like the bottom 3 or 4 of this one still really weren't the best in vet. Weren't the 12 best. Because we knew out the gate Ghoulies was going to be a top 12 team. We knew Pushback was going to be a top 12 team. For the most part, we knew Hey Rails to the Sky was probably going to be a top 12. So, like, those 3 are definitely 3 this offseason we were trying to kind of fix that, but we also knew we can't just pick and select every season. Versus this one, like Scott's on that point for sure, is that those 3 teams, and I think there's like 2 others that are all going to end up being top 12. I think the only one I've seen is going to be like Screen or Crutch will make that elite at this rate potentially.
Here's
I
a
might
question
learn
for
on
you,
it.
right? How does that work with the pro teams coming up? Like, my Red Riots are sick right now, 6th in the tier in pro. So, like with the other ones, like rookie, right? The top 12 rookies go to sophomore elite, right? And the top 12 sophomores go to pro, you know. But now where we've got like all these vet leagues, and then we've got pro. How do you guys know how he's going to determine?
Once you're in pro, what determines you getting in is your global rank. Then.
All right. Oh, wow. Then I don't need to worry about that then.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying about filtering into elite, though. You almost have to spend a full season at vet to be filtered into the elite leagues.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
this
season way to get in there was so messed up, so we had to manually get it fixed. This season won't have that issue.
The only way a pro would get in there is like if you were heavily undefeated, like 27 and 3 or something like that, they might be able to get in.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was fun.
Continue with the Red Riots, or if I might go one season at vet because I really want to. When summer vacation starts, my school break. If you guys still want to do that, right? Scott wanted to do another stream team, so.
Yeah, I would still really like to do that.
If we do a stream team, it doesn't. How would that work? Would we do it as a no? Wait. If we do franchise,
just normal.
3 players.
Do it as a normal.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then I could then keep so I could have 2 franchises and we could do that. As a normal team. All right. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I'll do one more. I gotta talk to my partner in crime if it's worth me doing one more season as the Red Riots just to see how they're doing, or if I say nope.
Yeah.
But, alrighty, guys. Thank you so much, and I'm going to call it a session and work on exporting this and getting it up on YouTube and from the YouTube video on Academy and in the GLB2 forum for people to watch. Oh, where's that mouse? Come on.